We are here for Spartan Up Podcast in Iceland, stuffed in this tiny little hotel room because it is freezing outside. We interviewed Katrin Daviosdottir.
Well done.
She is tough as nails. Woman's fittest woman. World's fittest woman 2 years in a row, CrossFit Games. She lost this last year, but she tells us how she's going to win this year, techniques she's going to use, but also how she wants to make the world a better place.
Yeah, I really see similarity. She wants to do what you want to do. She wants to change the world.
Yeah, but she's winning.
think she will.
She's cooler than I am. I mean, and she's Viking.
We got Sefra, we got Joe, we got Johnny, we got our producer Marion, and we've got a great interview. Let's watch it.
We are in Iceland. Toodles. We are here in Iceland for a most unbelievable podcast. I can't even believe we're having it with the world's fittest woman. I think she won 2012, 2013 CrossFit Games.
No, 2015 and 16.
2015, 16. She's even younger than we thought. She crushed it, and she knocked out a Spartan race today. And I'm going to attempt to pronounce her name properly. So it's Katrin.
That's pretty good. Katrin.
Davidsdottir, something like this?
Davidsdottir.
Davidsdottir. It's close. But anyway, she's tough as nails. She grew up in Iceland. You could see why she's tough as nails. I was broken just trying to go get rice crackers today, which was about 11 feet from the hotel because the rain was going sideways. It's complete darkness. You just don't feel like this is a place where humans, like you don't see plants anywhere growing.
No.
Right?
Didn't you feel, when you landed, weren't you surprised by how flat it was?
It's pretty flat.
Yeah. When I've been in the States or abroad, that's how I always feel. I'm like, wow, it really is flat.
But, I mean, where we have the race, it looks like it's mountainous a bit.
Well, we have mountains, yeah,
Right.
but there's no, it's lava or moss. We don't really have any trees. But, yeah, it was really cool today. It's so funny that all week, I don't know when you landed, but I landed on Thursday morning, and Thursday and Friday were beautiful. It was like a blue sky. And
By the way, what she means by beautiful is like only 20 below zero.
it was cold, but it was beautiful. It was sunny out and blue skies.
Yeah.
And today we got the real Icelandic weather. And it was so funny that I was hiking up that mountain, and I've actually never been up there, and it was pretty steep, and there was icy, and it's like you've really got to take one step at a time. Just make sure you don't slip onto the next person, and just make it up there. And once you got up there, that was the most wind I've ever been in, like outside. I've never been outside in windy weather like that. And I was just thinking, I was like, how cool is this? Like, when would I ever be up in a mountain and wind like this?
We had 200 fans up there blowing.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
There were a few people that got blown off the mountain.
Are you kidding?
No, they rolled down. They
my
had to climb
gosh.
back up. It was crazy. It was like 60, 70 miles an hour. It was nuts with the ice and everything. So
Yeah.
you're lucky. You're strong. You hung on.
But that was a lot of fun. And the same thing, like going down the mountain, again, it was really hard. Just like you got to focus on one step at a time. The rocks are loose. There was ice there or snow. And
That's what we purposely choose and develop courses that are tough.
it was really cool. And it was I love that I got to do my first one here back in Iceland.
Back in Iceland.
Yeah.
So you don't live here full time?
No. I live mostly in Boston.
Wow.
We're just outside of Boston in Natick.
Okay.
That's where my coach is, Ben Bergeron. And at CFNE, that's where I train almost all the time now. This is a full-time job for me, and I want to be the best in the world. And
Well, you are the best in the world, but you lost this last year?
I took 5th this year.
5th. What do you think happened?
I don't know. I was prepared, and I worked really hard last year. And if there's something that I can pinpoint is that I didn't have as much fire as I had before. And I can't pinpoint why that was. Other years I had a certain drive. In 2014 I didn't make the game. So that whole year before the 15 games,
You were crazy.
I was crazy. Every single I never wanted to not make it back to the games.
So every single decision you made on a daily basis was, is this decision going to get me in the games? Is this decision going to get me to win the games?
And I just kept going and going. Right. And then I win the 15 games from not making it to win. And it was talked about as a fluke. and I wanted to prove that it wasn't.
Wasn't a fluke.
So every day I went in and I went again. And maybe, I don't know,
You're resting on some laurels now, maybe.
No, not at all. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was some kind of like loss of confidence, or if I do thrive under pressure. I love pressure. I love when people expect things of me, and I feel like I love performing to that standard or trying to do even better. I don't know what it was, or maybe I got tired, but I didn't have, I can see it, and I came off the field. I don't know why it was. I didn't have the fire. And not winning.
You're back.
Man alive. I've heard my name at the end of it, and hearing someone else's name, if I know I can win, I want to win. And that's
you ever
just
see,
fire.
you're probably too young for this. You ever see the original Rocky movie?
Actually, I have seen it.
So the original Rocky movie, I remember seeing it as a kid and thinking, this must happen to boxers a lot, where they make money, because then it goes into Rocky 2, where he makes some money, he finally beats Apollo Creed, and then they get a little fat and lazy. I'm not saying you're fat at all, but they start to, exactly what you're saying, they start to maybe rest on some laurels or whatever it is. They just don't have that same fire like he had when he was fighting the champ. And I wonder, I'm just going to throw this out there, I wonder if rather than being in Boston, which is a little bit of a cushy place, right, you should be training at an outdoor CrossFit gym in Iceland year-round, right? Because, like animals, right, think about like the difference between a wolf and a golden retriever. Wolves are outside, right? They're tough as nails. Golden retrievers, they get a little soft, you feed them on demand, right? You don't...
I mean,
we don't want you to get...
Yeah, with what I do, it would definitely just lower the intensity if I was outside and in the rain and in the cold. But like today, this was a perfect opportunity, and I had so much fun, and just get to test your mental grit and the unknown. And I don't know what obstacles come up next, or I failed a couple obstacles. I mean, I'd always try, and I almost made it. And instead, you can be like bummed about it, but now I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go master that obstacle. But first, I'm gonna do my 30 burpees and keep moving. Fail and fail fast.
Sure.
But yeah, definitely like this year, I have that kind of fire in me, and
you're coming back.
It's so crazy to say, but sometimes the toughest things that I've been through, and what seemingly in the moment is the worst thing that can happen to me, those have been the best things for me. Not making the games, best thing that ever happened to me.
Sure.
Not winning the games, I'm gonna make it the best thing that ever happened to me.
Well, I just don't quit on this idea yet. You might want to come train a little bit in Iceland.
I do. Yeah. I do. I love Iceland. And whenever
Go old school. Remember Rocky went to Siberia? He trained, I think it was Rocky 5, maybe?
I haven't
4?
gotten so far into Rocky.
Rocky 4. In Siberia, in the snow. I could see you doing it. We could film it.
Okay.
Carrying logs, running up and down mountains.
You know what? I will do it. I'll do it. But as I say, like whenever I come back to Iceland, I realize like how much I love it here. But the thing about Boston is that that's the environment where I've created no distractions. That's where there's
just
nothing.
100%
There's nothing.
focus.
Yeah, that's the only thing. And here I can be like a little butterfly. It's all my best friends.
That's a good point. You
my
got a lot
family.
of friends here.
Yeah.
You'd have to go like to the way west or east or
how about we go to Russia and the snow there?
I like Russia. Yeah. I think Siberia for you would be good. Or Mongolia.
Tough me up a little more.
Yeah. So what's next? You got the games. When are the games, by the way?
The games are the first week in August, I think.
First week. So when will you start training hard?
I'm training hard. Yeah, I really am.
Competition's now going to know.
I know. I'm training hard. I know it's like some people like taking it in seasons, and I mean I'm not as fit as I'm gonna be in August, but I'm working so much more on strength and technical stuff and endurance base right now, and then I'll go more into fitness as soon as we hit the Open, and then of course I gotta peak my fitness and peak everything in August, and it's so hard to be on top of your game all year round. You can't, your head can, and your body can't, so you gotta take it in waves, and I take a lighter season right after the games. But for me to feel I love working. I want to work harder than anyone else.
Love it.
And I want to know. I want to keep working all the time. And for me to feel confident when I stand there at the CrossFit Games, I need to know that I did everything that I could. And that means on the 16th of December that I did everything that I could on the 17th. And some days that might mean I need to rest. And I take a full rest day every single week.
Is it hard for you to rest?
I get a little antsy. Yeah. I have a hard time doing nothing. I need to constantly be doing something and need to feel like I'm progressing, and that's when I'm the happiest. My coach always calls me the Sled Dog. You know,
Yeah.
like sled dogs want to be working,
Sure.
and when they're sitting there and they're in a band, they're howling because they want to go out and work, and they're the happiest when they just get to work so hard.
Sure. Yeah.
So that's what I just want to work.
I love it. So, sponsors cover it. Like, this is what you do full time?
It's what I do full time. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I used to be a full-time student, and I used to coach, and I used to try and train, and because it's things that I thought that I was supposed to be doing. And I was spread very thin. And in the beginning of 2015, that's when I was like, okay, I don't know what I want to do in school. I was going to take the semester off and figure that out. And I go to Boston, so I just kind of took off coaching too. And I just focused 100% on training. And it's so cool when you focus 100% on, not like 90%, not give it everything that you have, like magic starts happening.
We say extreme success requires extreme sacrifice,
Yeah.
right? So you give up everything else and focus.
Yeah, it's really cool. So that's what I did. And I love that. I don't want to, this sport isn't going to wait for me. You know, I'm only young right now, and I can recover like I recover.
Quickly.
And this is when I have this passion for this right now. So I want to feel that, and I want to do everything I can with that. You know, I'm not going to have that forever. So when I can, I just want to know that I'm giving it everything that I have. After,
let's say 3 more wins, right? 3 more CrossFit game wins. You get them. Then what? What's way out on the horizon?
I have so many things that I want to do. So I love sharing my story. I love being on this podcast, so thank you.
Cool, no problem.
I love reaching an audience.
Normally 7 hours, so we got time.
We got some time, yeah. I love listening to other people's stories. You know, everyone has a story. Everyone has something that they've been through, something that they were going through, something that they overcame. I love anyone's story. So I love sharing my story too. So I want to work on TV. I love being in front of cameras.
Nice.
I love talking. I want to do public speaking. I want to write a book. I have so many things that I want to do. And I know now's not the time for me to do all those things. I take the opportunities when I think they're right and when they fit into my schedule. But I know to be able to, work on TV or to be able to write a book and have an audience and share my story, I need a bigger platform.
Sure.
And for me, that's to be a better athlete right now. You know, so I focus all my time on that. But I have I constantly, I get like I told you, I get antsy and I want to do so many things. And sometimes I'm like, okay, we got to relax.
Calm down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
no,
that's
exciting. So yeah, it sounds like a great path. Win some more games, write some books, get on TV. It's actually sounds like Rocky. You're like the female Rocky.
That's pretty badass. Thank you.
Yeah.
That might be my favorite compliment I've gotten ever.
Good stuff.
But yeah, as long as I love this, I'll keep going. As long as I think I can get better, as long as I haven't reached, I think I can get better. Like right now, I haven't reached anything. There's so many things I can improve on, and I love this. I'm gonna keep going.
What about family?
We are very close, especially like my closest family and my grandpa. So they do come and visit me, and I try and spend as much time as I can home, especially like this time of the season. When it gets closer and like into the season, I don't get to travel as much, and that's when they come to Boston and visit me, and they always come and support me at regionals and at the game. So that it really means a lot to me. I have a lot of support from my family, and
you need that to play at the
I was gonna say, I wouldn't be able to do it any other way. Yeah.
What tips in this journey that you've taken could you give to the listeners out there? Like what people say to me all the time, Joe, I want to get motivated. How do you get motivated? How do I push through? How do I achieve goals? What would you say?
First, I try and always encourage people to do what they love, to really do what they love. Don't be in a job because it's secure for you. You know, you're just going to be there. Don't staying in that job, because you think you need it. You're not going to get the job that you really want because you have that job. It might be scary. Sometimes it's scary taking the risk. But when you do something that you absolutely love, you do it better than anything else. And you're going to get good at it, and it's going to be a success. So that's the first.
Do what you love.
Do what you love. And then I think it's to find a purpose for what you're doing. Things get tough. Even the things, training for me, there are days that are really tough. There are days that, I've already trained twice and I still need to go to the pool and swim a 2K and it's 7:30 at night and I'm so hungry and I'd rather, not go to the pool, but I need to know, why do I need to go to the pool? Right. I need to have a why. And for me, that why is I want to be able to inspire people. I is a message that I got the other day that means the world to me, that a girl watched me on Netflix talk about being the best version of myself after she just started CrossFit and she'd been depressed. And she was talking about how, you know, she'd be at the gym and she couldn't do pull-ups, and she'd be doing pull-ups until literally her hands would tear, you know, to do that every single day. It was such hard work. And then she could do a pull-up. And, you know, just being the best version of, like, being better at pull-ups, she could, like, translate it from the gym to being a better version of herself in life. And now she has a better life. And her being so inspired and getting better, I'm sure, is inspiring others.
Sure.
And for a long time, and it still always is, my grandmother also. I always feel like we're together. She passed away in 2016, but she's with me at all times, you know. And I just want to... She was my biggest supporter, my best friend.
Was this your mom's mom?
Yeah, we were very, very close.
So she was Icelandic. She was tough as nails.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, she was. And she was the biggest, brightest light in the room. You could always hear her in the stands. Everyone knew who my grandmother was.
Nice.
I always feel like she used to be in the stands, and now she's out there with me. So I want to make sure that I make her proud. So I always have these like, I know why I'm doing things. And when I know why, that 7:30 pool session isn't so hard anymore.
One question I didn't ask: how'd you find CrossFit?
So I did gymnastics from 6 to 16.
Wow.
And when I was 16, I just wanted to try something else, and I went into track. And I started in an off season, and I loved it. There was so much conditioning. We're always doing intervals on the track. Like, the training was so hard. I loved it. And then, like, it's broken into, like, off-season, competition season, off-season, competition season. And once we had competition season, we would kind of, like, the training would be so light because we were always tapering for a competition. And then it'd be a competition day, and I didn't even know what I wanted to compete in. And I just started, so I wasn't even, like, I mean, I hadn't worked on it, but I wasn't that good at anything. And we didn't get to train, and I was like, all I wanted to do was to keep doing all the hard work. So that didn't work for me. And then I did another, like, build-up season, which I loved, but then I was like, I couldn't figure out a sport. I kind of just I didn't want to pick one thing. I want to do everything. Like, I would have wanted to be a heptathlete.
Sure.
So I was kind of like, after that summer, I was kind of like a little bit lost. I went a little bit back to gymnastics, a little bit of track, and it was really confusing for me. I've always had this, I honestly think I was born competitive. I was always competing in, like, the stupidest things. Just, like, make my brother, like, all right, race me to the next lamppost.
I'm going to make toast faster than you.
Seriously. Like, we can't even play board games in my house. So I was born that way, but I've always been, like, I need to wake up with a goal in mind. I need to wake up knowing that I want to become better at something.
Sure.
And suddenly, like, I didn't have that anymore, and I think I was just kind of lost. And and then in the summer of 2011, Annie Thorisdottir, another Icelandic woman, wins the CrossFit Games. And CrossFit is kind of young, and CrossFit isn't in Iceland, but she wins, and CrossFit blows up, and everyone in Iceland knows, like, it was on all the news and all the media, and it blows up, and everyone wants to start CrossFit. And I think they were showing, like, footage from the CrossFit Games on the news, and my mom and my grandma are just sitting there just going, I don't know, maybe you should try that. Like, maybe you could be good at that. So I just called her gym. I just went to a gym, and I can't remember exactly, like, it was a dip in the memory. I, like, went the next day, and that was it. It really was. It was just conditioning, and everyone wanted to compete, and you can, like,
all the things you love.
Yeah, so I did boot camp and I did CrossFit at the start, and it took me 3 weeks, and I remember telling my mom, I was like, I want to make it to regionals, which is, like, the pre-competition for the games, and it was only a couple months until that changed into, I want to make it to the CrossFit Games. And I remember I put this bracelet on, and it was just like a yellow bracelet, but I put it on. I remember it was probably somewhere, I started in September, and this must have been somewhere around the new year. And I was like, this is my reminder that I'm going to go to the CrossFit Games. And whenever I was, like, holding a plank or on the treadmill, like, you're always running, I'd always see it. I was like, it made me work so hard. I just worked relentlessly until I made it to the CrossFit Games.
What, any kind of mental training that you do throughout the year?
Yeah, I do a lot. And I think that was the biggest kind of differentiator for me from not making the games in 2014. I was physically capable that year, but I kind of broke down mentally at those regionals because I was just very nervous and very much aware of, like, what other people were doing and how good they were, and not just, like, focus on what I was doing. And then I started reading sports psychology and working with my coach in the end of 2014, beginning of 2015. And that's when it all changed for me. And I think the biggest thing, and the thing that I try and just tell people, is just to be the best version of yourself. You can't be any better. I remember when I realized that I was always like nervous about like, okay, it's a workout with deadlift and legless rope climbs, and I'm like, oh, like, okay, those aren't my best movements, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like they're gonna go so fast, and I kept like, and of course I'm getting nervous when I can't figure out how to go faster. You know, maybe they just are today better at that, you know, right. And I can't go work on it when I'm in the competition. Like, I can stress about it later and I can work on it. But right now, like, what's the best thing that I can do? And that's go as fast as I can go. And that kind of both, it takes away the pressure because, like, I can do my best, right, if nothing else matters. But at the same time, it puts on a tremendous amount of pressure because I got to do my best and nothing less than that.
That's right.
You know, you can't take your foot off the gas pedal. But that's what I like. I want to do my absolute best, have no regrets. And it's just do your best. Focus on you. You can't control an outcome. You can't control what our athletes are doing. It's just focus on you.
Just do your best.
Yeah.
I love it. Just do your best. Spartan up. Toodles.
Toodles. I don't even know what it means.
It means goodbye.
Oh. In what language?
My parents.
It sounds like out of like Sound of Music.
She's awesome.
Yeah. She's so awesome.
Was she, right?
Yeah.
I mean, much more than world's fittest. When somebody hears world's fittest woman, you're going right to muscles and fitness, but she's so much more than that.
Yeah, she's definitely all that. But using that as the launch pad for everything else.
You know what was cool is when the cameras were off and she was walking away, like she was super proud to be a Viking.
Yeah, totally.
Like you see that her wrists were like twice the width of mine.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, what are in the genes or in the stock of these people? I mean, there's not that much food. There's reindeer and lichen here and some fish. It's like
there's not many plants, Miss.
There's tons of bryophytes. Listen, there are actually. It's a little
I eat them all the time. Broccoli, bryophyte.
Look, if you eat your deer antler velvet and lichen, then maybe you produce children that are like Katrin.
Smart, beautiful, strong. And
purpose,
kind and humble,
purposeful,
caring, and like curious about other people. Enough of a role model and a great influence that she was turning heads. I mean, there are really elite athletes in there tonight.
They were blown away that she was there.
I just want to give you a quick story. Not only is she a gigantic celebrity here, where every person who sees her knows her, and right off, literally, I took a picture while she was in here, and I sent it to 3 CrossFit friends in Canada. All 3 replied back, "Holy."
Yeah,
I didn't put a name. I didn't put anything. It was pretty
Joe's
incredible.
Speechless.
Joe's speechless. But listen, it's clear that we're all incredibly impressed. I mean, we could go on all day about how fantastic she is. But let's talk about things that we were impressed by and what she said. I just want to share one that really made a difference for me is why she's doing this. And she said, like, it's important for me to do this, but it's because I want to create a platform. And she actually used that term. I need to win a few more times to have a big enough platform to change the world.
Books and movies and things that are going to inspire. She wants to inspire.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
So I thought that was really cool that she's not just taking a natural talent and exploiting it simply for her own gain. She sees an opportunity to leverage that into an enormous change.
And over the last 200 podcasts we've done, one of the common themes is will it make the boat go faster? Extreme focus to get extreme success. And she already had all these concepts nailed. It was all part of our wiring.
Yeah, she's like, I love to work. Yeah. She loves to work.
She loves to work.
Who doesn't?
And she quantified it. I love when she said, not 90%, not 95%, not 99%.
Yeah, 100% focused in Boston. And I love the sled dog analogy. There's always that dog, the worker dog.
Yeah. Her coach says, "You're my sled dog."
Yeah. I love that one.
You're happiest when you're working.
And I think she said it when we were off camera too, but her mom actually did the sprint.
Yeah.
Just now, right?
Yeah.
And she's worried about her and rooting her on and helping her out, that's great to be the kid that inspiring your mom to come back. And she walked in with some other people and had a great time.
Yeah. No, she got her mom out there in the rain and
back
the cold and
so
back to Vikings.
So that's today's success. Another thing that was really important when she talked about failure and had such a good perspective on failure and said, and you could see the sort of a range of emotion when she talked about the year she didn't succeed, and she really paused to reflect on why, and you could tell it still hurts. She's still hurt by it. But she said, the worst things in my life, when I look back, have always turned into the best things, and I'm not ever going to let that be the worst thing. It was the worst day, and it's going to be the best thing that ever happened to me. And that mental focus and power and just intention to say it's happened. What am I going to do with it? As opposed to excuses and victimization. And
No, I agree. She's got her head screwed on straight, and anybody at that age that has their head screwed on that straight, they're going to be our boss in the future, and they're going to run the world.
yeah,
She's just
sure.
got good energy. I mean, like, she's in the room, she fills a room. You know what I mean? She was just in here, and like the room was lighter and happier and joyful. And it takes like that's something that you can't teach, you can't learn, right? You're born with that. That's just an innate characteristic.
I'm gonna challenge you on that.
Okay.
I think that it's certainly she naturally has that.
Yeah.
But it's also something I think she's developed. I think she has actually
Sure.
really been intentional about.
You train it like you train your body.
Absolutely, and I mean that in the most positive way. She's
Oh,
taken
yeah.
a natural ability, but I think people can learn that. I think people can teach themselves charisma, because so much of charisma is a contribution. Like when you sit with her, she doesn't need anything from you. She's not here to take any of your energy at all, because she has it.
Right.
And so if anyone ever wants to be charismatic, they need to stop worrying about how much they can get from anyone else and just how can they be a contribution. And when she said to you, I think it was just after the interview, she said, I'm so sorry I spoke so much. I really want to learn more about you. And she
so
wasn't
lovely.
kidding. She
That's
was
so
serious.
lovely.
But that's the amazing thing is just truly feeling like you're operating from abundance. And I
Yep.
think that's where that charisma comes from. And
Abundance.
Abundance.
Yes, there you
What did she say about her grandmother? Right? What-
So her grandmother was like the shining light, better than anybody else. She was interested in what other people have to say, and she would pass on this light. Right?
Yeah, and that every single person her grandmother interacted with, whether it was in a elevator or on the street, came away feeling so much better about who they were in the world, about their day. And she said, and that's what inspires me. I want to be that person.
That's what it is. That is such a powerful tool.
With that said,
You say thank
let's
you,
wrap this
everyone.
up so that everybody
Joyful.
out there listening could take all the energy from this podcast.
Put on a bracelet.
And maybe not head into an elevator, maybe a staircase, and inspire some people.
Maybe a
Sure.
sauna or a sweat lodge.
So to do so, go to Spartan.com/podcast. You'll see all our episodes there. We've got hundreds now of incredible interviews. This was definitely a phenomenal one, and there are
Sure.
some other incredible ones in there. The other thing I ask you to go to iTunes, go to YouTube, subscribe, and then you'll never miss us again. Every week we're bringing you great people like Katrin Daviosdottir, world's fittest woman. Katrin.
Toodles.
Fittest
Thank you.
podcast. Thank you for watching another epic story of success. If you like our message, please share Spartan Up with your friends and subscribe on iTunes, YouTube, or wherever you catch our show, maybe in the woods. Spartan Up is brought to you by Spartan Race. To find a race near you, visit Spartan.com.